Hey everybody, Kasey D'Amato here, President of Certified PA Consulting. Welcome to this week's Town Hall video series. I am President of Certified PA Consulting. I'm a PA business owner. I've owned multiple businesses, managed a multi-million-dollar practice in Los Angeles. I have raised capital, sold my own companies, and I now currently own 9 LLCs and a C Corp, and I help PAs understand strategic negotiations, how to negotiate salaries, how to recognize when it's time for an exit, how to reach your career goals, how to avoid burnout. All these things we teach people with Certified PA Consulting. We've been doing this since 2009. So we work with people one-on-one, typically on the phone. So you can be anywhere at any time, and we help people overcome professional career challenges and help people reach their goals. We help you recognize when you have an obstacle that we can help you work around, and help you recognize when the workaround may become so complicated that it might make sense to plan an exit. And if you're interested in doing business, we offer business coaching as well. So we've got tons of free videos, tons of free PDF guides. Take advantage of our resources. We have 2 on-demand courses, one that teaches negotiation, one that teaches business with workbooks, and also tons of videos and even free webinars that are a little more in-depth than our weekly video series. So lots of different resources out there. Take advantage, and of course, private coaching. We work with people one-on-one every day, Monday through Thursday. Friday is our admin day. So we would love to work with you and help you reach your career goals. On this week's video series, we're talking about transitioning from employee to academia, like teaching at a PA school or teaching someplace, or even business. And what are sort of the pros and cons to consider when we're thinking about all of these different options for PAs? Now, there's a lot of other options for PAs as well. Actually, the sky's the limit. Unless you want to get into law or accounting or something where you need an additional degree, PAs can do just about anything. We've had clients transition to everything from a landscaping business to cooking to functional medicine, and some that have even considered doggy daycare. I mean, anything. So PAs can do anything. So unless it requires an additional degree like law or accounting or something like that, certification, you would obviously have to get that degree, but you could do that too. So there's nothing that a PA cannot do. But let's talk about some of the common ones, which is, what if you weren't thinking about transitioning from from clinical to academia or business? Those 3, like, what are the pros and cons? Okay, so let's talk about one that's a big one for a lot of people. Predictable income, predictable paycheck. 2 out of those 3, and you could probably guess them, will have a predictable paycheck. Clinical care and academia. Business does not have a predictable paycheck. So you can start a business and sometimes it actually costs you money, and it can cost you money for a long time. So predictable income is pretty guaranteed, essentially, in clinical medicine and academia, but it is 100% not guaranteed in business. Now, that risk also comes with the upside that the potential to make more money is there in business, but the potential to make no money or cost you money is also there. So your risk tolerance level has to really be considered when it comes to your personal income. When you're thinking about these 3 things, 2 of the 3 have a predictable, stable income. The other one, business, comes with a bit of risk. So you have to really think about your risk tolerance level. Are you comfortable with that level of risk, knowing that it could come with a very big reward? If your business is successful, you could actually make more money than you did as a clinically working PA. So that's one that I really wanted to think about. The other one that I wanted to think about is time, because money and time are the 2 most important commodities. So we just talked about the money part. Let's talk about the time part. So a lot of people say they're thinking about making the switch from clinical to either academia or business because they want more time or more flexibility. So let's talk about those. So which one do you think has the potential to be more flexible with time? We already talked about the ones that are predictable with money. Let's talk about what's predictable with time. So if we're thinking about full time, then you're going to potentially have more predictability of time in clinical care, believe it or not, and academia, believe it or not, than business. With business, if you're starting a business, is what I'm talking about, becoming a business owner, that can take a lot of time in addition to providing your service. Because remember, if you're providing a service, that is your time that you're working with your patient, you know, or your client, whatever it is. And then you're going to have all your business, all your marketing, all your other needs outside of that time. So it could be significantly over 40 hours a week. If we're thinking about, and that can happen in clinical care too. I know, especially with chart notes in some settings and things like that. And it can happen in academia too. So all of them can be 40 plus hours. There are opportunities to be part-time in clinical care, or to be in a specialty that has a little bit more wiggle room, you know, like 312s or something like that. So they're in clinical care, you might not be in one right now. You might be in one that's 40 plus hours, but you could change to another specialty or another facility that maybe has a different schedule that fits in better with your life. And in academia, you can work part-time if you can afford that financially. And then it's part-time teaching and part-time clinic or family time or whatever it is. In business, there is not really an option for part-time as a business owner, unless you're kind of tricking yourself and your business is really more of a side hobby than a true business. And it's a side hobby that makes a little bit of money for you, maybe helps pay off student loans, maybe pays for a vacation, things like that. Maybe you even set it up as an LLC. So it is a little bit of a business, but it's not necessarily a business that is what we call scalable. So most of the time we talk about a business and in sort of definition is that you can grow it. You could hire more people, you could expand, you could have other locations, things like that. And there isn't so much an option to be like a part-time business owner and have it be scalable. Most of the time, those type of businesses where the business owner is not present full-time, if they try to scale, it usually fails. So in summary, money predictability is more predictable in clinical care and academia. Business's risk could be no money or cost you money, or it could be a lot of money. Time can be a little more predictable in academia and clinical care, and business, it's kind of a gray zone there, because if you really want to grow your business, you're going to have to invest a lot of time. It really can't be part-time. Clinical could be part-time, or you could look for a new location with different hours or different structure. And academia, if you could afford it, you could do part-time teaching. If that's something financially, or split it, clinic and teaching or something like that, definitely. But with business, it's very, very tricky to go part-time. So those are the two biggies that I really wanted to mention when you're thinking about considering going from employee, clinical employee, to academia or business. The one last thing, which is a smaller thing, but important to a lot of people, is benefits. Benefits oftentimes come with full-time employment in clinical roles, and most of the time with academic roles. If you're starting your own business, there will not be any benefits. So benefit packages can be valuable, and that's something that I also wanted to consider, that benefits with at clinical care and academia most of the time are there for full-time, not always for part-time, but for full-time. In business, it takes a while for your business to get to a certain size to be able to afford those type of business structures. Now, all of that being said, business comes with a lot of flexibility. You have control to do whatever you want. Here I am, and I just posted a video last week about my new blog talking about my personal life and how I've gotten to this point in my mid-40s that I have retired from clinical care, and I now invest my time and energy in my other businesses, which are multiple LLCs and a C Corp. And so there's a lot of flexibility in that. And I have a whole blog that I just launched about conquering the world of love, money, freedom, which includes travel and things like that. Doesn't mean that I am retired doing nothing, but it does mean that I have a level of flexibility as a business owner that is a little different than what you have in clinical care, because you have to be there physically for your patient. Telemedicine is the exception to that, obviously. So telemedicine gives you quite a bit of flexibility. So I did want to touch on all of those things. I hope that is helpful for you when you're thinking about your own decisions. It's a personal decision based on your goals for your life. What is most important to you financially? What are your financial goals? What are your time goals? Where do you want your life to be in 5 years or 10 years? Have you really mapped all of that out? Have you written down exactly what you want financially? Where do you want to be? What do you want to have in the bank or invested or whatever? Where do you want your time? How do you want your week? What's a perfect week look like for you? And all of these things. And what do you want your relationship to look like? Your personal life? What do you want that to look like? So have you mapped out kind of your perfect world? And then when you do that, you'll see, you can look back at this video and you can see which one of these doors, the pros and cons of each, makes sense for you. Business obviously has a lot of risk, but it has a lot of reward when you get to a certain level and a certain level of freedom. Clinical care, academia, a little bit more stable, less risk, but also less room for growth over time. Big growth. I mean, you know, at this point in our lives, I'm happy to share because it's public now on my personal blog page that my husband and myself have built a multi-7-figure net worth. Mostly these are decisions that I made over my career path as a PA, just like all of you. So this is not my husband's job and things like that. So these are decisions that I made with my career and my investments over time that put us in this position that were high risk. And not all of them worked. Many of them did not. I talked about that in the prior video. So, all right, I went on a tangent. I will hope that all this information was helpful. Don't forget, we have a free webinar, the 10 do's and don'ts of first-time business owners. Also, Business Bootcamp is available now. You can bundle that with coaching, business coaching, life and career coaching. So take advantage and bundle Business Bootcamp with some coaching. You can bundle that with a big discount. It's the only way to get a discount on private coaching. So take advantage of the free webinar. If you do sign up for Business Bootcamp, it's 4 hours with a workbook, and you can bundle with private coaching, and we can help you set yourself up for success as well. All right, everybody, have a great week. I'll see you next week.